Ladies and gentlemen, this is the MG Majester, the newest entrant in the premium SUV segment, and one more new contender for the Toyota Fortuner. Now this is the biggest SUV in its segment. It brings a lot in terms of new tech and features to the table, and we are driving it today. So over the next few minutes, I'm going to be telling you everything you need to know about this vehicle, and does it have the firepower to take on the Fortuner or not. Alright, so let's start off with the design of this vehicle first, and the first thing that will strike you is, like its name, it looks majestic. It's large, it's massive, and it's really bulky. That's something that buyers in this segment are going to love. So the kind of rugged looks you need, people want, people aspire for, it's got that kind of a design. It's macho, it's bold, it's boxy, it's upright, and it's the largest vehicle in its class. It's the tallest, it's the longest. So size, of course, is on its side. That also translates into a very good road stance, and that's exactly what buyers in this segment crave for. So on the design front, really sorted. I really like the way the triple lamp arrangement, the headlamp arrangement looks neat, nicely done, not overdone. The large grille up front, then of course the nicely designed large 19-inch alloy wheels, the boxy design on the side, the upright stance, and even at the back when you look at the lower part of the bumper, the exhaust tips, all of it has been done nice. So in terms of design, I think this vehicle really scores well and brings exactly what the buyers in this segment want. Now, talking of the interior, well, once you step inside the cabin of the Majester, instantly you are greeted to a very nice place. So the entire layout looks nice, modern. It's comprised of good materials. So even when you touch and feel different parts of the dashboard or the IP, you can make out the material quality is good. So it adds to the premium flavor of the cabin. The design is nice. The metal finishing done on the AC vents and on the dashboard looks nice. The steering wheel with all its multifunction buttons again gives you a lot of usability. This 12.3-inch touchscreen, it looks the part. It's the right size. It's not overly sized. It's not small. It's easy to use. Has Android Auto, Apple CarPlay, wireless. So that adds to your daily usability. It just makes the cabin much more usable. In terms of seating, the front seats are really nice, ventilated, comfortable, side support is good, and we've got good amount of headroom. Even at the back, the middle row, you can have it both ways. You can have a bench like we have in our test vehicle right now. You can also have it in a captain seat format, and there's a third row. So you can have it in a 7-seat layout or a 6-seat layout. So that flexibility again adds a lot to the basic overall usability of the cabin. Practical storage space is good all around the cabin. Feature list is extensive. You've got wireless chargers, 2 wireless chargers, multiple charging ports, massive panoramic sunroof, a nice JBL audio system, and of course, like I said, third row, a usable nice boot. So all of this really makes the user experience good. Now, of course, keep in mind that this has to go up against a vehicle as strong as the Fortuner. So it does bring some serious firepower to the table when it comes to features, and that is something that a lot of buyers are going to appreciate, that in terms of features, this definitely is one of the best in its segment right now. Alright, now that we've spoken about the exterior and the interior part, let's talk about performance. And there are two parts to it. One is, of course, the off-roading bit and then the on-road bit. In terms of off-road, this gets a lot of electronic wizardry. You get 4-low, but beyond that, like the Mercedes G-Class, the G-Wagon, you also get 3 differential locks: center, rear and front. And as a result of that, if you are an off-roading enthusiast, you can go and do extreme off-roading with this. The only thing is that you really need to learn how to use these modes, because it's not something you just press the button and go. With the front differential lock, if you use it in the wrong place, you could end up with a broken axle or damaged rear axle as well. So I hope MG at their dealerships will train people in terms of how to use these differential locks. But if you know how to use them well, you can really go places in terms of off-roading. As you can see in these shots right now, the Majesta is really capable off-road. You can do some serious off-roading with it, and even an amateur can look like a pro with this vehicle. It's got that kind of electronics to back you up. So on that front, it really scores high. Now we come to the on-road experience. 2-liter turbocharged engine, 215 PS of power and about 480 Nm of torque. On paper, looks decent. On road, it leaves you wanting for a bit more. Now the issue with it is not that it can't move. It can move when you want it to. It's just that there's a lot of effort that goes into it. So to get it going quickly, you need to be very generous with the throttle. At times you might have to apply close to half of the throttle to get it moving. It only moves once, basically the turbo spools up only around 2300-2400 RPM mark. That's when the engine picks up pace and you get going. The moment you'll go off throttle, it loses momentum very rapidly. I mean, that is the problem with a lot of small engines. There is only that much that a 2-liter engine can do. And to add to, basically the performance flaw is the fact that this is the heaviest, largest, so that weight is there. So as a result of that, this is something that's not really quick to drive. But yes, as far as doing expressway speeds are concerned, high triple-digit speeds are concerned, you can do that. So it's not slow, it's not a slouch in terms of performance, but it's also not the best in its segment in terms of performance. It's not a car that you will buy or you will drive for its engine. It will get the job done. It has got that much power. And ride quality, again, that is one area where it really scores well. It's got, despite being a ladder frame chassis, the ride quality is very nice. When you're going over surface undulations, the vertical movement that happens in a lot of ladder frame chassis vehicles, it's much more controlled. So that chassis engineering has been done very nice. The suspension tuning again has been done very nicely. So you get a good balance in terms of suspension, the ride quality, the stability is good. Even when you're braking hard at high speeds, you tend to have good control over the vehicle. Body roll, of course, like it is there in any vehicle with a high center of gravity, there is body roll, but this is not a vehicle that you use to go around corners hard. But like I said, sure-footed, stable handling, that's exactly what one should have in a vehicle in this segment, and it has it. Alright, now to wrap it up, should you buy the MG Majesta or not? Well, the most important thing to know is the price, which we don't have right now, but it will be announced sometime early May. That's what we have been told. Now, without the pricing, what I can tell you about this vehicle is that it definitely has a lot going for it. Exactly things that people want in this segment. Design, a big yes. Exactly the kind of looks that people want in this segment. Big, huge, bulky, massive. All of those adjectives, they are going well with this design. In terms of cabin experience, It has a feature-loaded layout. It is spacious. It is practical. It is usable. It is flexible, like I said earlier, in terms of seating options. So again, it scores well in that segment. Now, when it comes to performance, off-road, a big yes. On-road, I would say it is just about okay. It's not great. It's not a performance that you would, like really go for. So that's the one major thing in this vehicle that could have been better. Maybe some bit of better calibration. Maybe a 2-liter engine is not the right fit. Maybe a larger engine. We'll see. Time will tell. But beyond that, I think it's a nicely designed vehicle. It's a nicely packaged and engineered vehicle. Brings the best possible tech in terms of off-road capability to the segment. So that's going to be a big plus for people who love to take their SUVs off-roading. So if MG can now just go ahead and price this competitively, I think the Majesta can do well. Keep in mind, it is going up against the Fortuner. For years, lot of car makers have tried going against the Fortuner. MG itself tried doing this in the past with the Gloster. Other car makers have tried. Everyone till date has failed. No one has been able to even cause a concern to the Toyota Fortuner. That is the kind of dominance it has had. The Majesta checks a lot of boxes, brings a lot of good things to the table, but pricing is going to be crucial. It needs to have an aggressive pricing to take on the likes of the Toyota Fortuner. Competitive pricing will not cut it. If MG can give it an aggressive price tag, the Majesta has a good chance. Let us know what do you think about the Majesta. Would you buy this over the Fortuner or not? Let us know in the comment section.